Hey guys, so today's video is my top 14 books of 2014. Now, I read a lot of books in 2014. I'll be doing another video on my year in books where you can see every single book that I read during the year. This video is just going to be my top 14. Now, I thought that this would be pretty easy to narrow down, but it got a little bit tricky towards the end, so I did include one series as one book and one honorable mention at the end that you'll see. Okay, so let's get started. Number 14 is The Queen of the Tearling by Erika Johansen. Now, this book actually came out in 2014. I talked about it in my August wrap-up. I believe I read it in August. This is a high fantasy novel following Kelsey Rowell, who is the heir apparent to the throne. Her mother has just died and it is time for her to go reclaim her kingdom. So this is about her, this 19-year-old girl, earning the respect of a kingdom and trying to put back together this really messed up area. So it was really enjoyable. I really liked it, plus the cover is absolutely gorgeous and shiny. Number 13 is a little bit something different. It is The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin, or Why I Spent a Year Trying to Sing in the Morning, Clean My Closets, Fight Right, Read Aristotle, and generally have more fun. So for every month, Gretchen picks a new thing, whether it be eating better, exercising, having a better relationship with her husband, spending more time with her family, getting crafty, all sorts of things. And she takes each month and dedicates that month to try to be happy by improving one area of her life. And I found a lot of really helpful, fun tips in this book. It was interesting to read about her journey trying to be happy, and when you're trying super hard to be happy, how sometimes you aren't. Book number 12 is The DUFF, or The Designated Ugly Fat Friend. I'm sure most of you have read this. It's very popular, by Kody Keplinger. What I love about this book is that Kody wrote it when she was, what, 17, 18? It was published when she was 18, so that's pretty darn impressive. I really enjoyed this story. I read it recently, actually. In case you don't know, it is about Bianca, who is told by Wesley, who's like the hottest guy in school, that she is the designated ugly fat friend that goes along with her other two beautiful, hot, gorgeous friends just to make them look better, and how that affects her. And it also deals with family relationships and friendships. Okay, number 11 is If I Stay by Gayle Forman. I really like Gayle Forman's writing style. It's very simple and easy to read. I also want to say that I really appreciate the uniqueness in this story, and it just brought back a lot of emotions. I expected to be sadder by this book, but there were definitely a couple of parts that made me cry. So, really good book if you want to check it out. It's about Mia, who is this amazing cellist, and she and her family get in this horrific car accident, and so it's about her trying to decide if she wants to live or not. Number 10 is Landline by Rowell. I love everything that Rowell writes. She is magic. Anytime she puts her pen to a piece of paper or she puts her fingers on a keyboard, whatever it is, she produces something incredible. While this wasn't my favorite book ever, obviously, it's number 10, I really love her writing style, and I just really enjoy the way she weaves her stories. This was an adult novel, so it follows adult protagonists. Speaking of Rowell, Fangirl comes in at number 9. So Fangirl, or The Story of My Life. It's about Kath, who is a twin who goes off to college, and her twin does not want to share a room with her, and they kind of start going separate ways, and it's about her trying to find her own way and how to be her own person without her twin sister. And it also includes a really cute romance. Like I said, Rowell, she's the best. Number 8 I don't actually have the hard copy book of because I listened to it on audiobook, and that is Raising My Rainbow. This book was written by Duron. It's a nonfiction book that follows her life in raising her son, who turns out to be gender non-conforming. So this is a little boy that likes playing with Barbie dolls, likes sparkly shoes, likes dressing up, likes having his hair long, and generally would prefer to act like a girl and play with girls and dress like a girl. And it was really good. I don't know if it was the writing that was really good, because I wouldn't say that the writing was spectacular, but just the story and the truth to her story and her words, and that she shared this story with the world, was pretty incredible. And it was just really unique because you don't hear about that very often, and I love reading about different people who have entirely different lives than my own. It really just serves to remind me how diverse the human populace is and how everyone has the right to be who they want to be. Coming in at number 7 is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I have yet to read Lola and the Boy Next Door or Isla and the Happily Ever After. They are on my TBR. I really want to get to them soon because I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I'm really surprised that I hadn't read it before this year, but I read it this year and I really liked it. If you don't know, it's about this girl named Anna who goes to Paris for school on a school exchange program her last year of high school, and she meets this beautiful boy, St. Clair, who, you know, maybe he's not actually that beautiful, but he's very charming, and she falls madly in love with him, and it's just their story. St. Clair is an American boy with a British accent living in France with a French name. I mean, number 6 is one I read quite recently, and that is The Infinite Sea by Yancey. This book was my absolute most anticipated book of 2014, and it did not disappoint me. I know it disappointed a lot of people, not really sure why. I loved this book. It was really dark. It was a little bit repetitive at times, so I sort of do understand that. But oh my goodness, it was so good. It's just looking at humanity and what people will do. You know, it's sort of a post-apocalyptic book. It's just taking these people when they're dying and when everyone around them is dying, and what they'll do to survive and what parts of their humanity they put before other parts of their humanity. It's just fascinating to me. I would recommend this series for sure. Number 5 was another book that I listened to on audio, and that is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. This book was incredible, and I have a couple of things to say about this book. First off, I don't intend to continue this series. I started reading Dragonfly and Amber and I got halfway into it and I just burnt out on it, and there are 8 books in this series and they're all massive. So I'm not sure if I'm going to continue. Right now I'm kind of feeling like I'm probably not going to continue with the series, but we'll see. That being said, this book was incredible. Just wow, the amount of information that she was able to put into the book while still weaving this incredible story. I think that this woman has created a legacy for herself. Whether or not I will continue reading it, it doesn't matter. She did. She created something really, really wonderful, and I just love this. So this follows Claire, who gets transported back in time in Scotland a couple hundred years earlier. She meets this man and falls in love with him, and it's their story of her trying to decide whether she wants to go back, if she can go back, if she can even survive in Scotland in the 1700s, and their romance, and it's beautiful. So definitely read it if you have the time to spare and you want something that's really heavy and historical but incredible. Number 4, I also listened to on audiobook. So some of my favorite books this year I listened to on audiobook. I'm not sure if that's a theme, if it's because I like audiobooks. So there's another favorite. I like audiobooks. But this book is The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. Wow. Wow, this book just wow. There are 2 perspectives in this book. There's Puck and there's Sean, and they are completely different in almost every way. They live on this island where people raise these Kapalishka, which are basically these magical seahorses. They tame them and then, well, sort of tame them, and then they run them in this once-a-year annual race. People die, and people fall in love, and people fall off horses, and horses eat people. Her writing, it really transports you on this beautiful island, but not like jungly island, more like, I think it was Scottish, it might have been Irish. You could really picture everything, so I loved it. I loved this book, which is surprising to me actually, because I didn't think I would like the book, seeing as I'm not really a horse person, but I loved it. These ones I had a hard time putting in a particular order because I love all 3 of these top 3, plus number 4, I love The Scorpio Races also. Number 3 is Graceling by Kristen Cashore. This book's protagonist is so kick-ass. She is amazing. She's the definition of kick-ass. She's one of my favorite characters of all time. She's just incredible, and you have to read her story. It was a really unique fantasy world too. I didn't expect it to be quite that different, but I don't want to spoil it for you. It's fantasy, It's amazing, amazing protagonist. Read it. Number 2, the last one that I listened to on audiobook this year that's on this list, is Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. This was the first Rainbow Rowell book that I ever read, and it was early this year. This book was so full of emotion and so beautifully written. Rainbow Rowell is the queen. She is amazing and I absolutely adore her. I will read anything that woman writes. Like I said, incredible author, incredible book. Eleanor is this fiery red-headed girl with a bad home life, and Park is this really subdued Asian kid. At first he doesn't want to be her friend, but she kind of pushes her way into his life, and she's just loud and boisterous and crazy and dresses crazy, and he's really subdued, like I said, very mellow. And just the way that they change each other, being in each other's lives, and how that helps them to evolve and grow as people was really beautiful. If you haven't read it yet, read it. It's contemporary, you know, YA contemporary. It's so good. Okay. We are coming in at my number 1 pick of 2014, my top book, and I just read this book, and maybe that's why, maybe I'm still on a little bit of a, you know, emotional high from reading this book, but I don't know why it took me so long to pick up this series, because wow, this book, this series, Tahereh Mafi is a genius. Her style of writing is absolutely beautiful and captivating, and it really, honestly, is very, very, very hard to put down. I really don't want to put any of these books down when I'm reading them. Right now, I'm reading the last one. So this whole series, Shatter Me, Unravel Me, and then the 2 novellas that are called together, Unite Me, and then the last one's called Ignite Me. Tahereh Mafi writes in a stream of consciousness style, so it's just words flowing out almost like you think them and then they flow out. My only thought was word vomit, but that doesn't quite give you the feeling of how beautiful it is. The character development in this series is unreal. The evolution of how you think about characters is unreal, and wow, I love it. If you haven't read the series, pick it up. There's a lot of romance in it. I know a lot of people don't like romance. I don't know where the distinction is in my head, because I think sometimes romance is cheesy, and I think sometimes it's too much, and then sometimes I'm sort of consumed by it, and I think, oh my goodness, that was unbelievable, and I love it. This is in the that was unbelievable, I love it category. I don't know why that is, but I really, really like the way she did it, so definitely check these books out. They are my absolute favorite for the entire year. So the last book I'm going to talk about is one honorable mention book that came in sort of like number 15, and that is Expiration Day by William Campbell Powell. Let me give you a quick rundown. It's a little bit futuristic-y, a little bit sci-fi. What happens is there's this girl, I believe 16 or 17 when the book starts. So it's in this society where almost nobody can have children anymore. Just children aren't born, and so occasionally people will have real human children, but most of the time there are these sort of cyborg and robot children that people purchase. But it's sort of more like a lease, because what they do is they get them as little babies and then they upgrade them every few years, and then when they're 18 they have to give them back. The system is so that people can feel like they're raising children even if they can't have children of their own. This book is about what is humanity, because this main character, she starts off, she's told that she's a real human girl and that she's super rare, and then she starts to find out that a lot of her friends aren't human, aren't real, that she thought were real. She's just blown away, and so it's her trying to figure out what makes somebody human. There were some things that I didn't like about it, which is the reason why it's not higher on the list, but overall I definitely would recommend checking it out. Okay guys, those were my top 14 books of 2014. I hope that you had an amazing year of 2014. It was a crazy year for me, all sorts of moving, all sorts of changes. Hopefully I'll get settled in with the new year. I'm really looking forward to the new year. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas or holiday season, whatever you celebrate, or if you celebrate at all. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Okay, stay happy, stay healthy. Bye guys.